Beautiful day in the markets. End up taking Tesla previous day low retest towards the downside. What a great way after fumbling yesterday's trade, end up coming back, nailing the exact setup we prepared for in the pre-market game plan. Welcome back to another trade recap. Today is February the 5th. Today was an absolutely fantastic day. As I mentioned, end up taking Tesla previous day low retest towards the downside. Overall markets dropping right off the bat. We are recovering here now, but absolutely fantastic trade. Hopefully you guys were able to capture that one based off the pre-market game plan. Let's actually hop right into the charts. As you can see, before we do that, let's go over the trade statistics for the month so far. Absolutely fantastic way to start off the month. And of course, to start off the week, as you can see, up $22,000 today. Absolutely beautiful day in the markets, putting me up around $55,000 for the week and for the month so far. Let's head right on to the trade. Also, I'm going to drop my full live session today. As you guys know, I actually record this every single day and post it for my trading community, but I haven't posted too many live sessions for you guys that are completely raw, but I'm going to post my full live session so you guys know exactly my thought process, because you guys see my executions and my thought process coming into market open. And of course, you see the trade recap as well, but you don't really see me executing in real time. And of course, that is, if not the most important. So I'm going to post a full live session so you guys know what I'm looking for in the pre-market. Since you guys watch those pre-market preps, you can see the live execution as well through that full live session. And of course, you're going to have the trade recap here as well. So let's go on to the trade that we ended up taking today. Tesla, as I mentioned, $22,000 on the day. Ended up taking the 395 puts. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect rejection right off that previous day lows. Enter in. As you can see, the contracts basically went from 4 to a high of 1080. So basically over 100% depending on the entry that you got. But absolutely perfect day on Tesla. Absolutely fantastic. Really went down in a straight line. This one, it's very hard to fumble, at least today. Yesterday, trading the zeros. Today, 1 day till expiration, basically went down in a straight line. So very easy to manage today. Great way to bounce back, as I mentioned, based off of yesterday's price action and the fumble that we had, which was unfortunate. But let's go on to exactly the pre-market game plan coming into today, and then we're going to go into the live session, of course. So Tesla game plan coming into market open. Coming into today, markets are dropping towards the previous day lows. What I like to see is a reaction that we have off that level. SPY 681.50, QQQ 600. As for my main watches today, keep an eye out for Tesla under previous day low. Main game plan coming into market open based off the pre-market game plan. I'll show you guys exactly what I was looking for. This one has room towards 390 and below. NVIDIA and AMD are also on watch as well. NVIDIA 176.50, AMD 206. So those are the main watches coming into today. Now let's go on to the exact game plan here for Tesla. As you can see here, coming into market open, what is the main thesis that we had? The main thesis was fairly clear. Higher time frames, relative weakness, breaking underneath their previous day lows here in the pre-market. We're looking for that retest off that 400, continuation towards the downside. As simple as that. Game plan, very, very straightforward today. If you're looking at the higher time frames, as I mentioned, we have room down in towards 380s, right? 390s and 380s, not quite hit that 380s, but super solid push towards the downside. QQQ game plan coming to market open was looking for the reaction that we have off our previous day lows. SPY, similar game plan here as well. Key level that we have marked out was that previous day lows coming into market open. We're just essentially looking for that pop and fade. So that was the game plan coming to market open. As for Tesla, right off the bat, if we're going on to the lower time frames, you can see buyers kind of dropped right off sellers stepped in right off the bat, came down in towards our pre-market lows, but ultimately this one never came back to retest right off the bat, but we came back, retested it right here at this exact same time. Qs was actually bouncing and reclaiming your previous day lows. So we were bearish within the first couple minutes, but ultimately pretty strong bounce right off the bat. And now all we're looking for is the Tesla to see if sellers are going to step in. So if you go into the 1 minute time frame, nothing really showing too much on the 1 minute time frame, but the key thing here is the 5 minute, right? You can see the 1 minute, you're kind of staying heavy underneath your previous day lows. The 5 minute, look how beautiful this is. 5 minute rejection right off our up close candle, right off our previous day lows. Perfect rejection here on the 5. If you go into the 15 minute, perfect retest here as well. Once we broke back underneath, At the exact same time here, the QQQ, we wanted to see the break underneath here as well, but Tesla rejection here broke underneath this key level of support. That was our really signal that price wanted to continue towards the downside. After this rejection, after this 5-minute candle close bearish here as well, right? All we were looking for now was continuation towards the downside. Stop just a break above, and now we're looking for low of day, and we're looking for continuation all the way down in towards our daily time frame objective, which if we were to mark out is going to be this low all the way down here, right? 380s. So we had a couple main objectives on Tesla. We had our 380s, and then we also had our 390s and some other levels here as well. But this is basically the trade thesis, and as you can play it out, oops, I guess right here, as you play it out on Tesla, you can see basically beautiful drop towards the downside. And of course, the QQQ ended up dropping as well. Just kind of scaled on my way down, right? And then of course left some trailers for 380s, which ultimately didn't hit. But this move right here, beautiful trade on the 395 contracts up over 100%, which was absolutely fantastic. Plenty of other opportunities today. Nvidia, we had that pop and fade thesis off our Tuesday's lows. Beautiful trade down in towards our 170. AMD, another one break underneath that previous day lows. So plenty of different setups coming into today. Now, I want to share with you guys something special, right? It is the full live session. So if you guys do enjoy this, or if you do enjoy these live sessions, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more of these, besides that, I'll play out the live session. It is fairly long, about an hour long, but as I mentioned, there's going to be tons of value in this. And I'll just show you guys my whole overall thought process. Full raw session, no cuts whatsoever. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. Peace. All right, QQQ, a little bit of rejection so far right off the bat off our previous day lows. Let's keep an eye out on Tesla. Previous day low retest here, 399. Might even be interested here for potentially even aggressive entry just because Q's is rejecting right off the bat. I would like to see the previous day low here on Tesla, but if it shows a lot of weak price action underneath our pre-market lows, we can look to take this towards the downside. 395 puts is what I'm keeping an eye on here on Tesla. Yeah, as I mentioned there, with the Qs kind of rejecting off that previous day highs, I didn't think Tesla was going to come back up. Tesla now room down in towards that 380, 385 here. Tesla, the key level here is going to be that pre-market lows. As long as you can maintain underneath pre-market low now, we can look to take this down in towards 390s and below. As for a couple names, AMD here as well. Let's keep an eye on AMD underneath our previous day lows. Okay, the key level for me here is going to be Q's previous day low here, 600. So now we're going to be looking for the previous day low rejection here on the Qs. A couple of these names, we're either going to be waiting for the reclaim back underneath their pre-market lows on Tesla. Let's say back underneath this 394.60s. A name that I actually like here is AMD. Keep an eye on AMD previous day low retest here. Yeah, with the market basically flipping back above your previous day lows here, either now we're gonna wait for a potential kind of gap fill back towards the upside or names with the most relative weakness. So we'll see if there's any rejections here so far. Pretty strong reclaim here on the markets. Tesla's finally back at our previous day lows here as well. So let's see if a potential kind of 5-minute setup forms here on Tesla. You like to see the rejection here off our previous day lows. This was our original thesis to start off the day, the previous day low retest here on Tesla. Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on the 395 puts. We need to see sharp rejection on the Qs and then Tesla rejection here off your previous day lows. This is that low risk entry. Yeah, with market, it seems like buyers are stepping in so far right off that previous day lows. If we break above this 602 here, then I'm going to be more neutral, actually leaning a little bit more bearish intraday here in the markets. So far, no really sellers stepping in here on the Qs to break this back underneath that previous day lows. So no short positions here just because the Qs is now reclaiming key levels. Yeah, with the cues kind of bouncing within the first 10 minutes so far, my favorite watches are Intel and Apple. Of course, Apple pulled back, rejected off our previous day highs. Intel, not really any sort of pullback whatsoever. Pretty strong bounce off our previous day lows, really strong push up and towards now our previous day highs. So for Intel, we're going to have to wait for that previous day high retest or any sort of low risk entry here on Intel. But it's about to come up and towards our previous day highs, 49.50s here. Yeah, this is your lowest risk entry possible here on Tesla. The 395 is what I'm looking at here. What we need to see if we do want to see some downside, Q's break back underneath the 602. And then Tesla, we like to see now maintain underneath this previous day lows. Yeah, you can see for Intel, this one's now above your previous day highs. No pullback whatsoever on Intel so far, not even a down close candle. So for Intel, this one actually is very, very bullish. Key levels is going to be that 51.45, sorry, 51.48 on the higher time frames. Now, if we can get any sort of pullback here down and towards our previous day highs, this one's in play for a push up and towards our high that we created here on Tuesday. Let's keep an eye on Intel. First pullback here down in towards our previous day highs. Keep an eye on you can take a look at the 51 calls or even the 50 calls here on Intel. What I'll be interested in is that previous day high retest here. Previous day highs is 49.71. Let's see if we can get any sort of pullback here on Intel. Intel moving higher, no pullback on Intel. You only had one down close candle on this one, pushing towards the upside here. Next level on Intel is going to be your 51.48. Tesla actually still staying heavy, so I'm still interested in this Tesla previous day low short. Qs right now is above your previous day low, so we don't have to be that aggressive on this Tesla short. It's just low risk right now. We're waiting for the Qs to either fill our gap or get back underneath the 601. As for Tesla, this one, right underneath our previous day highs, but as I mentioned, Qs does have a gap fill that it needs to reject off of or it needs to get back underneath the 601. Couple of the semiconductors bouncing here, SMH bouncing, a couple mean reversions, right? SNDK, MU just bouncing off the lows. Intel's the main one towards the upside, but not really the greatest entry is just based off the higher time frames, just relative strength. Intel should hit 51.48s here. Yeah, Nvidia like on the lower time frames or based off the hourly charts bearish, but if you look at the daily chart, we're actually just right into kind of a major key level support here. So a little bit of buyers are stepping in so far. Yeah, Tesla's low risk. The higher time frame looks good. If the Qs can show a little bit more weakness, or if Tesla can now break underneath this 398, we can be looking for Tesla low risk, risking off our previous day highs. Yeah, Tesla, I'm actually going to try some of the 395s here. This one's just based off the higher time frames, but previous day low rejection here on Tesla. Risk is going to be a break above this previous day lows. I think this is good risk to reward here. Reject off our previous day lows. Potentially, you can see low of day and continuation. If we do want to reject off this level, it is the lowest risk possible here on Tesla. Yeah, this is more of a 5-minute setup. The rejection here off that previous day lows. SPY's kind of right at your previous day high. So SPY can break back underneath this previous day, this previous day lows. You potentially see a flip here in the markets underneath this 681. Q's right at a key level. So it could bounce, or if we can break underneath, we could see a push lower here. Let's see if we can get that QQQ break here. 602. With so far, Qs is showing weakness now underneath the 602. Tesla, we like to see pushed down towards low of day. Nvidia and AMD are actually rejecting here as well. Potential reclaim on these setups. In AMD, you'd be looking at the underneath your previous day lows. And then now Qs is about to come down. Qs at a very key inflection point here. So Q's right at your previous day lows here. We're about to come into 10 o'clock as well. But we're right at our previous day lows here on the Q's 650. We need to see a flush and a break underneath here on the QQQ. Q's breaking underneath so far. Yeah, there's this Q's flush. Yeah, with this 10 o'clock candle, I'm going to look to scale a little bit here on Tesla. I'd like to see the flush underneath. I'm going to take a little bit off here on Tesla with this 10 o'clock. I want to see this weakness though. If the Qs can maintain underneath the 600, we should get this pushed down towards low of day. And then Tesla, if you can get one big candle, you can get low of day and below. We should get this flush here, sorry. Yeah. SPY should get previous day low. Every name should hit previous day low. Sorry, lows here. SPY should hit low of day. Q should hit low of day. Tesla should get this big flush here with the Qs. Yeah, Qs and SPY. I like to see this big flush into low of day here. Tesla, similar thing. Underneath low of day, we have lots of room towards the downside. Let's see SPY. SPY's about to come down here. All right, let's see this first pop. First pop being shorted here. Let's see if SPY and Qs can make a new low of day. Tesla's very close to low of day here as well. Let's see if we can get this one big flush. Yeah, let's see if we can get it right here. Q's coming down, SPY coming down, Tesla. Yep, beautiful. Yeah, this is a key level here on Tesla. Take some profits. SPY and Q's basically low of day. This is low of day here on Tesla. It's our first main target. Tesla has room here as well. So now if the Q's flushes, Tesla, as I mentioned, right, look at that perfect previous day low rejection, low risk, sniper entry. Now let's see if we can get that continuation down in towards potentially 388, 385 here. But this was your first major target here, low of day on Tesla. Now your key level is going to be 395. So you like to see it really maintain below this 395. Preferably just drop. If Q's drops, preferably Tesla just drop here. Yep. There's that drop there. Q's hasn't even hit low of day yet. Tesla showing relative weakness, leading the way down. Perfect. Beautiful. Look at that. The premiums, nice pop on the premiums there. Yep, now we can just trail this down. Q's is going to hit low of day here. Tesla's showing some relative weakness. Now we're just going to mark out that up close candle. Yeah, look at this. Beautiful. 390s, 386 next levels. Q's hasn't even hit low of day. SPY already out low of day, but you can see Tesla. Look at that relative weakness. Beautiful. Tesla has room down to 390s here. Next level 386. Another scale point here is going to be that 390. Yep, Q's low of day now. That was your main objective for the Q's. If Q's flushes here, right? Tesla's already flushed, but 390s, we have levels below here as well. Yeah, Q's just hit low of day there as well. Yeah, that was textbook trade. We were eyeing this one all day. Previous day low retest straight from the pre-market game plan. Waited patiently too, right? Q's stayed heavy, was a broke above, but as soon as Tesla flipped low, basically just down in a straight line, which is fantastic. Q's coming down. AMD, nice break back underneath. AMD down and towards our 195. NVIDIA, low of day there as well. As I mentioned, a couple of reclaim setups that you could have been looking for. Yeah, Q's low of day. As you can see, a little bit of buyers stepping in. Now, for the rest of the names, you're just going to mark out up close candles. Q's, you can just mark out this up close candle right here, 599. Yeah, Q's at low of day, so this is basically your last level of support here. Break underneath this so you can see a little bit more room towards the downside on both SPY and the Qs. Yep. Yeah, there's that Q's pop that we talked about. SPY now underneath 5-minute range low. Next room, 677. Look at this Tesla push. Beautiful. 390s, next level here on Tesla. I wouldn't be, we could easily hit 384 today with the Q's flushing here. That's not out the picture. Next level on the Q's, 594.39. QQQ SPY, it's basically this 676 key level. As for Tesla, you can mark out up close candles, and then really the next level down into that 386. But now you can mark out those up close candles. Yeah, look at all these names flashing here. Nice pop on the markets. Nvidia now dropping nicely. AMD actually. Yeah, AMD was solid. AMD has a lot of room. Daily gap fill here as well. Markets are spilling today, right? Huge daily gap fill on AMD. Not saying you can fill the full thing, but market's very, very weak. No buyers stepping in whatsoever. Yeah, so SPY's tapping into the 677. Q's coming down here as well. Let me just check the futures charts. Okay, so ES hit one of our key scale points here on the futures. So a little bit of buyers kind of step in right off the 677. Yes, we actually just took out this low. So a little bit of buyers basically right off this key level. As I mentioned, up close candles are going to be key now. Qs 598, SPY basically the 679. Tesla, it's just going to be this 390. Yeah, that was your bar by bar as well. If you're looking at Tesla, we talk about this for the best momentum or the most aggressive way to chill your position. Here, the shift of momentum on the 1 minute candle closed right here. First candle that closed above its previous candle was right here, 398. That's not saying Tesla can't head lower for the day, but that right there is just their first bar by bar. Tesla's right in our key level now, which is just this up close candle. Tesla's textbook outline this. Most of you guys should have been on this one. Previous day low retest, higher time frame. We had room down as well with the Q's rejection off our previous day lows.